So Ye has been all over the news for a couple weeks now. And then he went on the Drink Champs. That thing was 3.5 hours. I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I probably watched about 2 hours of it. Fell asleep last night watching the bootleg version. And the reason why there's a bootleg version, because the night after it aired, Nori pulled it down the next morning after he got so much heat.
Say real quick, welcome back to the Endgame podcast. I'm Rod Brown.
I'm Lynch.
Yo, and I'm Max Maxwell.
Oh my God, y'all just confused the world.
Not really,
y'all just
man.
confused the world.
I just want to make listen, I want to make it normal that on a couple of these joints, we ain't even got to say who we are because the information is so dope that even if you never know my name or find out my name, you're just going to be like, that light-skinned dude said with the beard on, with the scruffy voice,
that's what they
was
say.
the gospel. That's all you got to say because that changed my life. And I listen and watch memes and stuff like that on Joint. I don't know half them people. Right. They never introduced themselves, but they gave me some that I'm probably going to talk about today. Gotcha. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to give it to somebody else too. And they ain't going to know where I got it from. And I ain't going to never introduce them. So today, I'm Max Maxwell. You can believe it or not.
It don't matter.
Don't matter. You're just dope at the end of the day. First of all, I just want to thank everyone for tapping in, that taps in. Thank you so much for the encouraging words, the comments that you give us. Thank you to the haters who are coming out of the woodworks and trolling. We appreciate you. You have a job. You have a role in this whole process. I like to say thank you.
It's called engagement.
Absolutely. I like to thank you. And so I've gotten some folks that reached out and said, man, you know, I'm interested in doing this. I'm interested in doing this. And they ask a question and, you know, I'll send back an answer. And then they'll say, well, I really love to talk to you. I want to send you an NDA. Right.
I learned that very early.
And I'm like, listen, y'all, I don't mind engaging with anybody, talking to anybody, giving you answers to questions that you have. I'm not signing an NDA, especially for someone who just has an idea, right? So let's say you've been in the game for 4 or 5 years. You got some traction. You got some, you have some cash flow. You have some proprietary products or services or whatever. Maybe I'll sign the NDA, but I don't want your business. You know, Lynch says, keep the main thing the main thing. I'm not going to go try to go create and start over your business. Entrepreneurs that are successful, they don't want your company. They want to help you, but they don't. As a matter of fact, they might want to invest in you, but we don't want to steal your company. So please, I'll help you. I'll answer questions, but I'm not signing an NDA.
NDAs are risky.
Huh?
NDAs are risky for you.
Right.
Because if you sign an NDA and as an investor yourself, and it's already something in the wheelhouse, you just subject yourself to being sued on something that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I just want to get that out because I'm not signing an NDA. So please don't, you know, don't do that. Don't ask people that have successful businesses already to sign an NDA because they're not trying to steal your company. I promise you.
Hey, I ain't. What's been happening this week?
I don't know. I mean, y'all know what's been going on this week.
It's a lot. I mean,
you have things. It is.
The main thing has been on the line is Ye has been he said respect his name change, bro.
Yeah.
So Ye has been all over the news for a couple weeks now. And then he went on the Drink Champs. Well, first before that, he did a couple interviews that he did one with Tucker Carlson. They fully edited it. One was supposed to air on LeBron's shop. They didn't put it out. And then Nori was like, pull up. Yeah. We'll let you speak. That thing was 3.5 hours. I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I probably watched about 2 hours of it.
Yeah.
I fell asleep last night watching the bootleg version. And the reason why there's a bootleg version
because they took it down.
Because the night after it aired, Nori pulled it down the next morning after he got so much heat.
Yeah, I don't even know if he did it, but
Nori did it.
Yeah, I mean, of course, but because the influence is why he did it. So he ain't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Without just reading the headlines, did you watch it? Did you watch
maybe about 40 minutes of it?
Yeah.
And then
I'm gonna
go back. Yeah, I watched the beginning. Yep.
Did you watch it, Rod?
I'm going back.
I watched
and check
probably
it out.
about 30 minutes.
Got it.
And by the time I went back to check it out, it was.
I got a link for you.
Yeah. All right.
Do you think he was mad crazy? I mean, Rod.
Do I think who's mad crazy?
Yay. Is he off his rocker?
Man, listen. I don't care about this Kanye situation.
I think it matters though.
It doesn't. Just hear me out. It doesn't matter.
I'm listening.
Okay.
I'm sick of this Kanye situation.
Yay.
Right? Oh, I'm sorry. Yay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Please forgive me. I'm sick of this Yay situation, man. So, first of all, Nori told us why Ye was on his show in the introduction. Man, the last time you were here,
the numbers was up.
Our numbers went through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Ye was there, right? And it was an easy call to make for Ye to be there, right? So that's number one.
Well, isn't that the reason why any of his guests are going to be there? So that's what you're hoping when you start the podcast.
Yeah, but the most popular guest,
so run it
at
back.
this juncture
so run it back.
is Ye. So
yeah, but like hold your thought real quick, because like they were starting to restrict the platforms that he could be on.
All of them
at that
they
point.
took his Twitter down
So
immediately.
yeah, they took his Instagram down, then took his Twitter down, and people were like, "Nah, we're not gonna let this happen." And then boom, the homie said, "Pull up." So then for him it was like, "Yeah, pull up," because the numbers through the roof. Like, ain't nobody messing with you, then let's do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I could care less.
Go ahead.
I could care less because now I care about the human being, Ye. I could care less about this situation and this conversation because Ye is what, a billionaire 6 times? Let's say he's 10% liquid.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say $600 million. Ye can handle or deal with a $600 million situation. Ye's been in situations like this before.
Mm-hmm.
Money simply gives you more options, but it doesn't buy you compassion, happiness, joy. It doesn't buy you favor. It doesn't buy you pick it. Pick any emotion. It doesn't buy you those things, right? So I think what we're doing is we've been distracted by this situation. So you have stimulus and you have reaction.
Response, yeah.
I think every stimulus and reaction on the far end, you have response.
Yeah.
And response is where you engineer,
no doubt.
right? The reply to the stimulus. Yeah. Everybody has reacted versus taking time to respond.
Yeah.
I don't care about the White Lives Matter t-shirt. I don't care about all the situational stuff. People are disappointed because they want Ye to appear as someone else. Ye is going to be Ye. We know who Ye is.
I get that.
People get disappointed because they want Ye to appear as someone different. Ye is going to present himself as himself. He has been in situations similar to this. He will overcome this situation. I care about the man's health, the man's mental health, and it would be a shame if he's not on this earth because of, things that could go left based on some of the stuff that he's saying, and some of the stuff that he's doing. But I could care less about talking like other than Ye being on these other platforms or being snatched away from these platforms. Why are we talking about him?
Well, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, so listen, I understand where you're coming from, and I understand your answer, but I think a lot of people, what we have to do is we got to meet the people where they're at, and I believe that's what we're up here for, and that's the reason why we're actually maybe addressing this right now, because the way we're addressing it is going to be totally different than the way everybody else addresses it. I think by you saying you don't care is a reaction as well. But then you're explaining, some stuff which makes a whole lot of sense, but it's because you have intellectual intelligence and you have emotional intelligence to say, you know what, I'm not going to let this, make me react the way the rest of the world is acting. And you can do that because you're an independent thinker, but the rest of the world isn't. So they're literally crucifying him right now. So I have compassion for the people who, were drug into this by his, off the wall comments, right? And we have to meet those people where they are too. Right. So I understand what's going on with all that. So we got to be.
Now I'm going to participate in the conversation because y'all are my dogs.
Right. Nah,
but I'm just letting you know where I am. And because again, that space between stimulus and response is basically time, right? Yeah. It's time. And so the amount of time that we're spending on this is taking away from someone's end game. And the energy could be taken away from someone's end game. Could be taken away from the deal that you've been working on. Could be taken away from.
Well, not necessarily. Let me explain it to you.
I'm saying it could be. Well, I didn't say it was. I said it could be.
I just want to explain like some of the stuff that's so with everyone having a reaction that is only to the information that the media is putting out. So everybody can't unpack, his rant the way you did, or doesn't have the same interpretation of his rant as you did. Some people are not emotionally attached to some of the things that he said. Some people are. So
that's all the reaction is. It's just emotion.
Right. So you're like a mediator where you don't have an emotional attachment to this. He didn't say anything about your family member that died.
Right.
All right. He didn't say anything about you being a Black Jew.
Right.
Like, so you're not Jewish. We don't want to get into all that stuff. Right. So you don't have that type of emotion to what he said. Your family wasn't directly affected like to what he said. So your response, care less.
There was only one family that was affected by what he said when you think about it. I directly based on what you just
totally
said.
Get that.
Right.
Now, that's another conversation too. That's a whole nother conversation. But what I'm saying is there are media outlets, there are people, followers, fans, subscribers, the whole rest of our culture and community that is all following whatever everybody else says, the popular opinion. Now, if we can't have a few independent thinkers that can give a different perspective to what may be going on here, then nobody is going to actually get a chance to actually do something for the families to help them get better. Mm-hmm. And for the man that we maybe think is, not quote unquote in his right, fully aware of all his faculties when he's talking at the time. Does that make sense? All right. So now I'm just saying all that to say, I'm saying all that to say one thing, that they could right now literally crucify him right in front of everybody. And I know y'all don't think that, you might not care, but the age-old story of the Black man is the rise to grace and the fall from it. And we're always crucified. We're at in the media.
But what grace though? Like, and what does the him being crucified? What does that look like?
Listen to what I'm saying. What does that look like? Grace. When a Black man becomes successful, he's up here and we're all rocking for him and rooting for him, right? But we can't wait to hold on to partake in the crucifixion.
Listen,
fall from it.
Ye said he could go to Hawaii right now and be done.
I totally forget what he said.
Done, right?
Look, forget what he said.
I mean, we're talking about what he said.
Let's talk about anybody that goes up and then comes down. This affects each and every last one of us, the same exact way. We're all Black men that are successful, right? And look, if we do one thing, you hear me? There might not be enough grace for us to get back up again.
Grace from who? Other than God. God put us in the positions that we're in. So how can we be snatched out of?
So, all right, cool. Let me get my piece in, because I've been over here quiet as a church mouse.
Go ahead.
I understand what you're saying, not caring about the situation or why we should talk about it, why we wasting time. I think it's very important that we talk about it.
Okay.
And not from the reactionary point of headline news, right? Because I watch the Ye joint because of the headlines of people's reactions, right? And so I go into the situation. I have I'm guessing it's unique. I know how to look at a situation without emotion. right? And I look at it for what it is, and then I give everybody.
That's emotional intelligence.
Yeah, I look at. So I'm watching this interview, not on anybody's side, not caring about Ye, not caring about who he's talking about at the moment, not caring about what they talking about George Floyd. That's not what I'm. I'm trying to decipher the message. Right. You know, so because if I can go deep with that, but I'm not. But the point is like I need to decipher what the man's saying. Mm-hmm. I need to decipher the conversation. I need to look at it in a way that affects me or the people that I care about. Mm-hmm. Right. So forget the face of it. Forget the face of the conversation. Let's go deep into what he was saying and what he was trying to say. Right. It might be the right message, but the wrong messenger. So you will miss the whole message because we don't care about the. So I know you talk about that too.
No. Let me make sure we're clear. Right. When I say I don't care about the situation, because again, I care deeply about the man, the human being. Ye. Care about him.
How though?
Right?
You don't know him.
No. I mean, because I have compassion.
I get it. I mean, you care about another human being.
I care about
human.
I mean, God created Ye, so therefore anything that God creates, I care about. Period.
All right, cool.
So, but all the other narratives that has been associated, that's been plugged into Ye and his life.
Yeah, but I don't care about that. Those are
the things, right? That's all I'm saying.
That's what, and I don't care about those things. I'm agreeing with you, but what I am saying is there's a conversation that has to be had as what he was probably attempting to say.
Yeah,
let's pick up the conversation on what he was attempting to say. I wanted to give
my perspective. And again, y'all my dog, so we're going to have those conversations.
Yeah, I know we're going to go
into those conversations.
Because I think it's important.
But I'm saying, but in the grand scheme of things, our lives,
it does, though.
All right,
it does affect our lives,
and the people that we're talking to. Like,
but that's why
we have a duty, obligation, responsibility to the people that we're talking to help them
because
unpack all this.
This
stuff.
matters.
I was gonna say only if we, like a tongue scraper. As long as we scrape the shiggity off of the narrative. Yeah, if we don't scrape the shiggity off of the narrative, if we just fall in line with Nori and Drink Champs,
I don't care nothing about none of that.
Yeah. I ain't paying dues no mind. Listen what I'm saying. Look, we got a book coming out.
Yep.
And the book is going to talk about why we have a certain, why we act a certain way, where it stemmed from, where we are currently, origin, and what we got to do to fix it. So all I'm saying is this go all the way back to slavery. And I'm telling you, if we don't unpack the slave narrative behind it right now, then we going to keep perpetuating the cycle and everybody going to pull up, right? Because this is the joint that my man tried to jump off and swim away, and they hope that nobody else do the same thing.
Absolutely.
So here's what I'm saying is everybody pulling up to the joint to watch Shade Room, to watch See the God, to watch all them joints. That's what happened when the slave tried to run away and they called all of them out to the yard and said, watch what we do to the homie that tried to run away.
Right.
That's what they about to do in the media right now.
So yeah,
if all of us keep running with the same narrative.
Here's what they don't want us to have. Is the conversation about what he was actually trying to say. They want us to be on top of the headline joints.
Exactly.
So let's unpack a few things first, right? Number one, we don't own
it.
Number one.
Period. So if you strip away who said it, when he said it, or where he said it at, we don't control any media. We are the puppets for the media, and who controls
Nothing gets taken down. If it's Nori's joint, if it's really Nori's show,
right,
then nobody can't pressure him.
And where's the first place he went? He went to what?
All the
Breakfast Club. That's owned by the same company. That owns his podcast.
All of them.
Right.
So hold on.
That's the point we need to talk about.
That's exactly what we need to talk about, because let me tell you what my joint was. CNN. Yeah. Look. CNN. When them songs came on, when was killing this, none of that got pulled.
Right.
That's my
Hear me
25 to life. Come on, I'm running around 25 to life. Where I go? My sentence started at 10 to life. I'm around this joint right here. Nobody said
pull that off.
Nobody said pull that off.
Right.
Niggas ain't pulled none of that off.
Nori said the show is about getting people inebriated to come on here to talk junk.
Word.
Why is that even a show?
Why is it green lit?
Why is that even a show?
Right.
That's my point, is if you don't own it, if they allow, because let's break down. What did he say in that particular podcast that was really offensive? that we haven't heard before. Now, hold on. Let me hear. The most offensive thing you could probably say is he said George Floyd wasn't really killed by the officer because his knee wasn't on the neck, really like that. Have we heard that before? Have we heard that narrative before?
I did.
I haven't heard that before.
I did.
Bro, if y'all watched the case,
I didn't.
Did y'all watch the whole case?
Nah, I didn't really.
The whole case. That's what they were all trying to say.
Yeah, but
that was their defense. That his.
Yeah, but it don't. But my point is, nobody else got canceled for saying what they believed on it. But if you listen to what he actually said, he said if you heard when he was talking about, he said George Floyd said they looking for a guy like me, tall, this and that, whatever. The point was he was saying, yo, they targeted my man. Right. Yeah. They killed him, but they having y'all believe that it was the officer that killed him. Yes, they were set to kill him. So it was they saying the whole thing was a setup. Yeah. The whole thing was a setup. You're angry at this officer, which you should be, right? Because he was a puppet in the whole Grand Theater anyways. Right. So you took the message from the headline and ran with it and forgot what he was saying. My man said they came after him. Believe it or not, that's what he was really saying. You heard he wasn't knee wasn't really on his neck. It's the same cat that paid for his daughter to go to college, started $2 million. He donated $2 million to the cause and the effort during that time. So that was a lot of the families that was happening, the shootings that were happening in Chicago. So he donated, but he also, particularly to his daughter, he gave I think it's a 529 plan.
Okay, to pay for college.
Gotcha. So he took care of college for his daughter.
Tax-free plan.
Tax-free 529, right? So my point is because the headlines want us to be angry, right? Who control the headlines? The same people he's talking about. What the problem that I have with this entire situation is that we're so easy to call out anybody that we say feel like it disagrees or said something wrong and off the wall. All he was saying is, listen, the Jewish people or the people that are mainly Jewish control the media. We don't control the media. Right. He says, you know what? I actually respect what they do. Yeah. Because they control this whole thing. Yeah. But you missed the whole message because you want to focus on his misspelled tweet of DEFCON 3 or whatever that means. And if he tried to clarify it, which I don't care what he said anyways. Right. Like, I don't.
You were in the military. DEFCON, isn't that like a defensive?
It's a defense. It's get ready.
It's not an offense.
It's not an offense. But it doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. I don't even get into the semantics of what he said. But the thing is all he was trying to do, what he's trying to do is bring attention to that, yo, we don't own any media. Right. These folks over here do it. So replace the word Jewish with Arabs, replace it with Africans, replace it with Asians. He said the Asians own the media. I'm about to go. So who else would have got canceled for saying the other thing?
I don't know but what I'm really confused about is
and what did he say was wrong?
How was he, promoted to being an anti-Semite? Was it anti-Semite?
Yeah,
anti-Semite, right? And I don't understand. I had a conversation today. I don't even understand how, it's almost like getting promoted from demon to devil when you're labeled an anti-Semite. For me, I don't know.
I don't understand.
But I don't think there are people sitting around going, I'm an anti-Semite. I believe there are just racists. And I think anybody that has been ever labeled with the label of anti-Semite, they are racist. So if they don't like this group of people, they probably don't like this group of people. And they probably don't like this group of people, or not like, but hate. They hate, Jewish people. They hate Asians. They hate Africans. They hate the Hispanic community. But it seems like all of a sudden, like what's the promotion for not liking or hating black people?
There is none.
The word racism?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, gotcha.
It don't matter.
So that's the part I struggle with.
If you don't like black people, don't matter. Matter of fact, we're going to give you interviews on Fox News and all these other outlets, and you never get canceled for saying that you hate black people. Yeah. For that you saying you don't want integration, for saying all these. So that's my point that I'm trying to get across. And I do business with Jews in New York right now. Right now. So my top jeweler is a Jewish guy. I got no beef with no Jewish people whatsoever. I just have a hard time understanding why is there such a big thing? Why is that word so triggering?
It's the social prison that once you offend that group of people, you get that label, and now you're in social prison. Because they control the media. Exactly.
And that's what he was trying to say.
And when the media is controlled, I believe the narratives are controlled.
That's what's his whole point. Yeah. He's saying if you do not own the distribution or where your stuff is coming from, right? Yeah. Then you only get a perspective. Like I put out a tweet today. I said, don't at me. If you don't challenge your thoughts of where your stuff comes from. Because if you don't travel or create experiences outside of what you know, then you only have a perspective of what somebody gives you.
Yeah.
So all the theories you have right now is what somebody gives you.
Right. Which is most congregations, if we're honest, particularly in the Black community. It's most congregations. Most congregations don't think for themselves because they wait for a pastor to tell them.
I had a guy comment and says, well, the problem with that is, because it's only 36% of Americans have a valid passport, right? So he commented and says, well, the number is so high because a lot of felons can't get passports. A quick Google search, I said, bro, that's not true. Right? You're not on parole, you're on probation, you get a passport. Now, you may not be allowed in certain countries because of your criminal history, but you can still get a passport.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. So like,
that ain't even a thing, man.
So that's what I'm saying. So
as long as your probation officer lets you go, you straight.
But his perspective was only what somebody told him.
Yeah.
An experience of a simple Google search would have changed that.
Exactly.
So something that small, imagine what your perspective is on a lot of things in life.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, absolutely. So something else to unpack. The one thing that I did see on the podcast with Drink Chaps that Ye said, and I'm not sure how true it is, but he said, I don't have any friends.
I believe it.
Right. You believe that?
I believe that.
How can you get to the heights that he's gotten to without having any friends? Maybe he has people around him that aren't considered his friends, but he has to have people around him to ascend to the level that he's ascended to. No, you don't think so? Nobody's done anything great by themselves.
He hired people to do things, but they weren't his friends, because he even said that the guy that ran his media company, he had to fire him because, in so many words, he said, yo, I didn't used to pay attention to my money. People was out here spending money. He said, I lost tens of millions of dollars just by not paying attention. He says, now I write all my checks and I do it only on Fridays.
Yeah. So I would say that troubled me also, because that speaks to, because we talk about, having a circle around you, because you can only ascend to certain heights based on how tight your circle is and the level of your circle, right? The level, you're the average of the 5 people you hang around most. So that part troubled me by him saying, I don't have any friends. And me personally, I just believe you got to have at least 3 people in your life. You got to have the person that you're poured into. You got to have the person that you're on the same level. They don't want anything from you. They're there to support you, to give you ideas, to help you out. And then you got to have the person that's pouring into you, right? That you can reach up to and get insight. And so that bothered me when he said, I don't have any friends.
Yeah, I mean, but I guess the path that he's on,
I'm not sure.
The path that he's on, I could understand where it's a lonely one, because even at the small level I am compared to where he's at, it could be that.
Yeah.
So I don't see nothing wrong with it. But here's the main thing I want to unpack about this whole Kanye situation is, forget Kanye and that situation. But when something comes to you in a message, try to be unemotional about what you hear and try to get the underlining message. Try to get the coded message. Try to look through the bushes and the weeds and the stuff so you can understand what somebody's actually saying, and not how somebody with a lack of emotional intelligence may have said at that time. You also got to remember, they're smoking weed on this show. They're drinking on this show. So the whole show is about, he says, this is from Nori himself, is to come here and get inebriated and talk. And
then, you let loose when you're
so what happens there? And then back to the point. Why is that a show we even like? For some of our people, as great or as a leader, as whoever, why is somebody like Ye go on there and pressured into drinking? I watched it when he was like, he faked like he was taking a shot, then they put it down. No, you gotta take that shot. I mean, come on, man. Oh, how old are they?
Right. Yeah, but that's the culture. It's the culture.
But I'm saying but can you imagine if that was Martin Luther King sitting there and he goes on Drink Champs? Why is that celebrated in the first place?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just.
They just the new rappers. Rappers, podcasters are the new rappers, and old rappers becoming podcasters.
Yeah.
So the same dumb message they was giving you in the songs is the same dumb message they gonna give you in the damn podcast. So be careful what you watch.
So is Ye a leader?
He has to be. He's a leader because he's doing things that haven't been done before by Black people. So by default, he becomes a leader of his actions. He may not be a physical or mental thought leader for the community, but his actions are, because I believe that even, for example, he's getting 15% of Yeezys. That's 3 times more than Jordan's getting, right? So that's the big homies getting. So if you look at it through that, Now the new standard is 15%. Remember, we just talked about the standard before was 5%.
So he's also saying that, we got to break the mold too. He's also saying that he wants out of that one. He wants to do his own stuff.
Now he realized he can do his own.
He can do his own stuff. So I think that's like you said, that's the bigger message of what's going on. If everybody listens, then, it's like, damn, well, our record companies, we can do our albums different. We can do our record releases different. And here, everything.
And here's another thing too. When somebody is great at something, for Kanye, he's a great artist. He's figured out the fashion game and understand that. Let's keep them in that position of being a leader on that side. Don't drag them into being in a holistic, like leader altogether.
That was Charles Barkley back in the day. He said, "I'm not a role model."
Yeah. So let's
really
keep him.
I get a lot of money for doing that, and that's
let's keep him over here in this where he's done well in this vertical. Yeah. Let's not bring him over to he's the whole package. Yeah. He's not. I don't think he wants to be. But when you force people into that,
to be president.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's marketing. But who cares, right? He ain't got no chance of winning. But you know what I'm saying. But I could use my emotions or lack of there and to find out that that's all BS. But most people gonna play into that.
Yeah.
He probably gonna release some mega album in 2024. You know what I mean? Like,
the president. Title of the president.
No, he said, he said the Throne 2 is coming.
Oh, wow. Him and Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing about Ye is I think that people struggle with is that, I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if you have some friends you hadn't seen in a long time and you remember them from the time you saw them and they're not that way. And you're like, hey, did they evolve? Did they get, did they grow? So there's an evolution with Ye also that people like they want the old Kanye. I don't think the old Kanye will ever come back.
He can't,
right?
But if humans in themselves change every 10 years, right? Just as a regular normal person, imagine going from what 10-year Kanye was to 10-year Kanye is now. Like he's going to change way crazier, way faster than the average person. I'm saying the average person turns every 10 years.
But we got to put a label on that evolution. We got to put a label on that.
Well, I think that at least, a lot of people didn't, he's more in the public eye now. So the stuff he was saying, before behind closed doors, he's just saying it on camera now. So he was throwed off before. He just throwed off more now. Because
everybody though, imagine if everybody had a camera and a mic.
Be done. Everybody be jobless.
Right. If everybody had a camera and a mic on them all the time.
Jobless society.
That's what kills me about.
I be saying and doing.
They
bugged out. Everybody know I'm 7:30 halfway. I'm twisted.
That's what kills me about church is that especially, and I can only speak about Christians because I'm a Christian, and Christians tend to grab hold to one thing and crucify people for that one thing, like election time, right? Christians, I'm not voting for him because he believes in abortion. But what about all that other stuff that you've done? Just imagine if there was this a meter when you walk through the church and says, you did this, right? Or you did this, right? And so I think the compassion, that grace and that mercy is completely thrown out of the window when that spotlight is on them. Right? So
everybody's got skeletons and everybody says
that's
things.
Why I'm not running for any office. Y'all go ahead.
I mean, I just think we gotta be mindful of divide and conquer, man, and how it's everywhere, all around us, man. If we're gonna turn up and start owning stuff and things like that, then we gotta start understanding how this stuff is run.
Okay, so let me ask you this thing. So divide and conquer to that point. It's not brand new, right? That's not a brand new strategy.
That's so old,
right? Old strategy, right? So if you had the magic wand that had the answer, what's the answer? To eradicate, eliminate, slow down, stiff arm, divide and conquer. Well, because it's not new.
A lot of times the answer is going to come from the book we put out.
Okay.
Yeah, when that joint come out, you're going to have a bunch of the answers. You better go get it and read it because a lot of it going to be in there.
Right.
Yeah, but right now, I can't unpack all that.
Unpack one thing. Like awareness? Awareness? Having awareness of the play or the plan?
Yeah, well, I just think that, for one, we gotta seek information first and foremost. And if we let other people feed us the information, then we hit.
So so it's the being a individual thinker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think creating your own perspective on things is huge, right? Being able to experience things on your own, and not on your own, but like being able to experience things and not relying on so much outside influence to be able to, do things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, man. I think there's a lot that needs to be fixed. I know a lot of it. I know a lot of the things that fix is going to come from feeling independent, right? And not being holden to something or someone. And so I think when you back away from that part of your life being a reality, I think you start to expand your thinking and hopefully start to create your own narrative or your own theories on things and not just take what somebody else gives you. Like I don't even know. It's weird. I don't even know how to explain it. Just a lot of us just don't have our own thoughts.
Yeah, we don't.
Like it's all borrowed thoughts.
Yeah, that's my whole beef. That's all I'm saying is we're not independent thinkers anymore. It's tough, because we're influenced by what we see on a regular basis. So this repetition coming across. After a while, you just start to believe in stuff, and that's
subconsciously.
The subconscious is it's huge. But
so I think both of y'all said it at some point. Like one of the overarching issues with this situation, still talking about the Ye situation, is that we don't own anything. We don't own anything.
That's what that whole thing boiled down to me. Anyway,
how do we correct that, man? How do we, you know what I'm saying? How do we, like, especially if something is huge? I mean, that's a barge when we talk about media.
Yeah, it is.
It ain't even media though. It's everything.
Yes, it's a lot of things. I mean, I think what happens is you have to look at. You take an example. I talked about Oprah being a version of this, and then somebody under her, Tyler Perry, being a better version of that. Right. So I think as these things grow, these people. But why is it that Tyler Perry is the first Black man to have a studio of that size and a sound lot of that size, first ever?
Yeah.
Right. Like first ever. Why is that? And
it's because of the thought. It's because of the independent thinking. To say
but
that he could think that he could actually do it.
This is something I talked to my wife about, and I don't expect her to answer these things, but I'm like, why is it that other people who were way more successful, and it could way more successful prior to Tyler Perry, right? You look at Will Smith, who at one point was the highest paid actor for 6 years running. Why didn't he? And maybe it's not what he wants to do, but I'm just saying there's many more examples of that. Is why didn't he create? Now somebody that came in the game after you names a sound lot after you, sound stage after you. He's got 12 sound stages. Why didn't Denzel do it?
12? Wow.
He's on 330 acres.
Wow.
If you haven't watched the YouTube video.
Is that the new studio?
Yeah. He bought an old Confederate army base, 330 acres, kept all the houses. You got if you watch it.
Can I tell you why? Y'all can get mad at me.
Oh, go ahead.
Because he's more of a jack of all trades than a master of one.
I'm not mad at that.
But we argued about it a few podcasts ago.
So no, we didn't. I didn't argue about that.
All right, cool.
So I do everything.
Bring that back up real quick. Listen, the reason why is some of those guys.
I'm going to bring up multitasking. I had an epiphany today about multitasking.
So the reason why though is because some of those guys like Denzel and Will Smith, once they got thrown into the best actor thing, then that's all they kind of wrapped their mind around was best actor thing. But this guy was an actor. He was a producer. He was a manufacturer. He was he did all of it. And because he had all of it in his wheelhouse. He now
owns his own stuff.
Because his mindset is different than the artist. Remember, these guys were just artists.
Yeah.
Remember, that's what Will Smith was a rapper. He was an artist.
Didn't Oprah inspire him to tell
that's
him
his mentor
about just make sure you own everything?
That's his mentor.
Yeah.
That's his mentor. He says it.
So here's what I'm saying is, so if Oprah's the mentor, then Oprah's Harriet Tubman. And Harriet said, what? I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if they knew they were slaves. All Kanye was saying was, yo, y'all, look, since we don't own nothing, we got masters. And if y'all ain't willing to roll out and run out, and we ain't gonna never be free.
Now, here's something that he said too in that interview or in an apology after that. We
And
shared in a group text.
I know Cats is about to be mad at that, but go ahead.
He said in that, I think you said it in the group text, and you were like, my man said, I got enough money where I could be in Hawaii and just disappear and be good for the rest of my life, and my kids be good for the rest of their life. And they like, is it that thing where he says, but I am? He said, God sent me here.
I'm coming back.
I'm coming to sacrifice all of this.
Yo, I know the way, I've gone the way, and I'll show the way. But so he said, I'll sacrifice all that to come back to get the homies.
But people don't put no weight on that. Because they like, yo, why don't you go sit down?
Why don't? Because they can't fathom. Because
$150 million a year is good.
Nah, because Big Baller Brand versus Nike. So Master P know what's up. Big Baller Brand know what's up. Shaq know what's up.
And that's why,
right? But everybody laughing at your boy Big Baller Brand because Nike gonna pass out 150 million. Big Baller Brand know what's up.
And what we should have did for an experiment is all get behind Big Baller Brand and make it. But they was laughing at him. Cats was laughing at him, and nobody took that down.
And nobody. So you see what I'm saying? Like that's matter of fact. Let's get Big Baller Brand, my man, on this joint. Let's get him or P on.
He be in Charlotte.
He's in
Matter of fact, let's go to a couple games because I got the seats.
Pull right up.
He be right there.
He be right there. That's an independent thought. He coming in saying, "Yo, I'm gonna do what y'all ain't trying to do because we can do this."
Right.
And he got the blueprint. He put 3 cats in the league, 3 of his kids, and boom. That man a genius. They laughing at him. That man a genius.
And they laughing at him.
Yeah, whatever he spill off, I'm about to catch it and decipher it like you said, and I'm gonna figure out if it might be confirmation for me.
So if this conversation here doesn't make you challenge the information that comes into you,
that's all I want to do.
Here's what I'm saying. Understand that we don't own media. So everything you have seen has come from somebody who don't look like you, probably don't care about you. Everything you've ever seen or heard has come from somebody else. Now, the messenger may be somebody that look like you, but the one that checks that green box for it to go out, don't care.
Yo, a lot of people understand this stuff, man. These artists, they understand it. They got albums that they wanted to put out that never came out. They understand that somebody runs it and signs all these different types of stuff. They gotta understand that some of the stuff that he was saying, or that Ye was saying, was true. We gotta start to challenge the deals that at least you gotta say, man, at least it's something we don't know about with Michael Jordan's deal. Right. At least say that.
Right.
At least say
there
that.
There has to be something else.
I said that in myself. I said that in myself.
Well, at least say that because it's not right. Yeah. Instead of saying 150 mil, man, give me that. Let's roll with it. Right. Out of 5 billion, man, you kidding me? Ain't nowhere around world you gonna sell all that in the name of Lynch Hunt, and I only get 150 or 5 billion. Man, get the hell out of here, man.
What if it's 150 or nothing?
I'm coming tomorrow. I have a new joint.
Okay. All right.
From the ground up. I ain't never been a stranger to the mud, man. Right. Everything I've done has been straight 10 toes down. Everything. I don't listen. I don't give a about none of these things. They never gave me nothing. I fall off and I do this again from the ground up, and I'll still have more confidence than everybody else that's getting backed by somebody else. But word.
So that's the message, and having the courage to do that. Hey, because most people don't have the courage.
Hey, that's on them.
Yeah, most people don't have
the courage. Somebody said a comment that I think was pretty cool. The problem is people are searching for a deal.
That's what it is,
right? Because like if you ain't looking for a deal for your joints, then you can't get bought out.
Hey, didn't I say that? That's why I don't like support. a deal and support the same. Strap them boots up
and go.
Let's run this revenue up, and let's go find LVMH and all of them and say, "Yo, give me a deal, a distribution deal." Huh?
Or go straight to China yourself.
Yeah, look, listen, check it out. Look, check it out. What they do once they seen that slaves was getting free, what they do? They created an underground railroad because it was profitable. You don't think they was getting help after that?
So let me ask you this: so does ownership erase or eradicate, or I like to say etch and sketch? Remember the etch and sketch?
Etch and sketch.
This one right here.
Does ownership? Yeah. Does ownership? Etch and sketch, the slavery or the slave mentality, that we're talking about today, the modern day slavery? Does it erase that if we start owning stuff?
That's why one of the principles is thou shalt own a business. Yeah. And what? Sell it.
Right. And then do what? Do it again?
Do it again.
Yeah.
Well, because you can't be a slave and owner at the same time.
Here's a slave and a master.
That's it.
Here's the thing that I think the main thing for me is that there has to be more examples for it to become normal.
Exactly.
And so if you go in certain communities, being a doctor or a lawyer is normal and expected of you as a child when you're growing up. Period. It is the norm.
What communities?
They're not ours. But what I want to say, I'm just telling you. So that not ours. And so the point that I'm making is, as we get that, okay, there should be a black guy that owns a football team and not hunting to be the head coach.
Absolutely.
I think that becomes normal. And then so on, more becomes normal, and then becomes normal. And then it's expected.
Yeah.
Right. And so there is supposed to be, why is it okay that a brand like Jordan Brand that is solely reliable on a black man's thing that he only owns 5% or gets 5% of revenue? Now, I don't care what anybody want to say. Yes, $150 million is a lot of money, but so is $5 billion.
Yeah. Did you wear a tie? You ever wear a tie like every day? Well, you in the military every day.
You know, wear a tie.
Huh?
I had a beard.
I barely got a tie.
I was a beard.
I was a gangster. I was a gangster.
In the Army? You had a beard in the Army?
I was a gangster.
Okay. All right. Well, I wore a tie at one point every single day. You know why I started wearing a tie? Because I saw something
tied up like that right
exactly.
now.
No, your wife did this.
I'm talking about the string.
That's what I'm talking about. That's how I got it.
Oh, you just put it on?
I just put it straight over your big ass head like that?
I did. I sure did. I sure did. Shout out. Anointed Couture. Shout out. Yeah.
Got the anointing too. Yeah, got me with the Kobe.
So I started wearing a tie because I saw people wear ties.
Yeah.
Right. So to normalize this ownership thing, the people who own stuff, we need to see them, and people who don't own stuff need to see them. But it seems like once we get to a certain level, we kind of hide, or we not, maybe not hide, but we're not accessible.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the reasons why I like to be accessible.
I think, you know what? Damn, man, it's crazy. Keep going back to the same thing, man. If we're around everybody that got deals, then we want to deal. Damn.
That's it. If you run, if the narrative in the hood for a rapper was blow up, get a deal, then that's what they gonna do.
Yeah.
Not blow up and start a distribution company. Nobody, I ain't never heard anybody say that.
It was dope. Yeah, well, you figure when Jay and them was out the trunk, when Cash Money was out the trunk, when Master P and them was out the trunk, them cats went and got 400 million because they went and got the distributions. They had to play for a second. And then
but they never owned the distribution. How hard is it to print a damn CD?
Damn.
How hard is it to put now Apple own everybody distribution.
Everything.
That's what I'm saying. You went and got 400 million. Okay, great. Now the next dude after you is gonna try to go get 500 million. Yeah. But tell me, baby.
Oh, but Jay went and got the Spotify joint and all that stuff, so he can get the streams and all that too, right? He sold that too.
He sold that. He made a bag. He made a bag off of that. But what I'm saying is normalize.
When they get in the game,
everybody's got to go through these. But I don't care how big you are. There's about 3 doors you got to go through, and ain't none of them owned by us.
Yeah.
Got to change that.
Yeah.
Make that normal. Make the end game not a record deal where you or distribution deal or the largest independent record label. Who cares? Why are you independent? What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Independent mean you're not Universal or Warner Brothers? So I think normalizing this spot.
Gotcha.
Right? Normalizing, because in everything that you see in most people's cultures, they have these normal things, just normalcy, normal.
Yeah.
And so we got to create new normals for us.
I got a story, man. I remember Rich Dad Poor Dad. I read one of those books, right?
Yeah.
And man, I got so excited. And I had a friend, Jewish friend of mine. And so she was a wealth manager, and her husband was a wealthy young cat too. Her husband was a wealthy attorney. And I was like, man, I just read this book, and I was talking to her about it. She was looking at me kind of like, I was telling her what I read and this strategy. She was kind of like,
that's regular. Yeah. I learned that.
But I didn't get it. I didn't understand that till 2-3 years later. I was like, why was she like,
you
she wasn't excited as I was.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because that was like what you just said. It was
That-
normal.
Hey, that's
so,
how I be when you be telling me, yo, I just read this. Check this out. I'll be like, yo, yeah,
I read that when I was in the hole. I read it when I was in the hole. 6 months
Before the hole, he read it in the county.
6 months in the hole, and I read it. You
said, I
just not
read it.
reading it? That's like, you just not reading it?
I be trying to rub it in.
But yeah, so
That's
man,
so bad.
I think that's a part of our responsibility too. Is
Absolutely.
to like, I mean, that's dope, Max. Normalize that. Normalize ownership. And one of the ways to do it is to make sure people that own stuff is we can reach them and we can touch them. So we got to make sure we got to figure out ways to, bring them out. Yeah.
Well, I mean, one of my mentors that recently passed away, rest in peace, Daryl Freeman. When I met him, I told him, I said, this is gonna sound weird. I said, I need to put you on social media. He said, I don't want to be on social media. I said, Daryl, you need to be on social media because you've done things that you too. I said, you've done things that people, it's not normal for us. And I want to make sure it looks normal. Yeah, you built and sold several companies. Yeah, you sit 100%. You own a bank that just sold, right? You know what I'm saying? You own this company that you went from zero, you and your wife went from zero and sold it for $23 million cash. Yeah. Like, let's come out of the dark. I know you, 100%. I know why you there, but you cool.
No, because the energy gonna attract the energy anyway. That's why, that's why we had Adrian. That's why the people that we got coming up, they coming out because, and people ain't never had them either. Right. They ain't never had them out. Right. So that's why how you know it's different because the energy different because we come in a whole different way. We come to teach, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people ain't doing that. They just honestly, they vampires on the culture. Honestly, they just disguising it a little bit different. You know what I mean? And people don't be knowing. So they just taking advantage of them, take a little longer before they come out. But between these last couple of joints, you've seen a lot of people, dirt come out and watch. You get a chance to see who they really are.
I wish we had this committee. I just thought about this. This is a straight fantasy. But I wish we had this committee that every December we riled up 5 businesses or people and we held the congregation of people and said, these 5 people we're going to make billionaires this year. All right, cool. Set. Let's go. Right. And we just, and it's that powerful that we can do that. Right. And then every year it becomes 10 more, then 20 more, or, people that have become, it could be 12, not a billion, but whatever the number is. Right.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I've been to, seminars and stuff like that where they make you pay thousands of dollars to join this mastermind group and stuff like that. And then, you get some dope, information and things like that.
But I just wish there was like this committee.
I know
where we were like, all right, you see these 3 businesses and this 2 over here. We're going to make those all public traded companies by the end of the year.
You know what? People that are entrepreneurs right now that they're doing $50,000 a year, you take them to $300,000 a year, it changes their life.
Yeah.
It changes their family's life.
And a whole bunch of different cultures, they do it. They come over here.
And that's what I'm saying.
They go out, yo, listen, I got a gym that's sit right next to a Chinese store. Yo, listen, I'm telling you, it's sit right next to the Chinese food store, right next to the T-Mobile, right? And we be in there early. Yeah. When they pull up to work, 20 of them get out of one van. You know what they gonna do? They about to go in there, blow that spot up right there,
and
the next one, your next another, and you get, and then we're gonna do it over here with them. And then by the time we look up 6-7 years, all them cats got their own joint. Everybody millionaires came over here on their ass with nothing. Said we're gonna get it 10 toes down. We're gonna work together. You know what I mean? The community and all that. We're gonna make it right.
And so, how bold or narcissistic or arrogant would you have to be for us to believe we could do that?
I don't think.
What do we spend?
What do we spend? 1.2 or 2.1 trillion dollars a year?
It's probably like two. No, it's probably 2 trillion.
Yeah, $2 trillion a year. I'm just telling you to make 5 billionaires,
right?
Or let's just say 5 people in the hundreds of millions,
right?
And understand because
when I say we, I'm talking about us 3 to go lead that charge and to go be the drum major.
I'm all about it, man, because right now all the influence is being used to fill up the plates at the church. That's all they doing.
Gotcha.
Pastor need a new helicopter because the last one is the leather ain't the same. The leather's smaller. The new ones, the stitching is bigger. So I just feel like we got to come together and do something that is meaningful.
Absolutely.
We can do that.
That would be dope. Oh, man, that would be dope. Yeah. So, you're not gonna get a whole lot of clickbait from that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not sexy. It's a long time, and then you look back and then you be like, yo, look at those 3 dudes there.
That's a hell of a legacy too. Just think how many people you touch, not just the individuals that you turn into, 6, 7, 8 figures, but their lineage, their families, and their kids, and their grandkids, and their great grandkids,
and the audience,
and the audience,
and
the customers and the communities that they serve. That would be, oh man.
I know I can get us a TV show if you want to do it.
Let's go.
I mean,
I just be afraid of that TV
it's
stuff.
an age-old adage. Is teach a man how to fish. They just say, feed a man to fish, you feed him for a day.
Right.
Teach a man how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. But he may become prosperous and teach others how to fish as well.
Right.
See, a lot of people don't know the end of that statement. They just stop at the teach him how to fish and he become prosperous.
So we had to summarize the Ye situation, or do we wait for the book to summarize it?
No, let's summarize it because these people need to understand and stop. If I had to summarize the Ye situation, is first of all, watch things without your emotion. Like the reality is, you don't care about George Floyd that much, so stop it. Stop pretending. Right? Do we care about the situation that George Floyd went through? Absolutely. Right? Because that matters to our community. Yeah. But you don't care about George Floyd. Stop it. Yeah. Right? And so the real thing is like, let's take our emotions out of the messenger and understand the message when somebody speaks. Because we're so easy to crucify somebody when at the top. We're so used to it. Yeah. Right? And so, Ye might be crazy, whatever your opinion is on whatever it is, but let's push it to the side and see what he was trying to really say. Because you got to think.
The family got that right, though. The family got that right.
The family does.
Yeah, the family has it.
Whatever, fine. Right. Well, I don't know what the 250 is going to do for you, but fine, whatever. But the point that I'm saying is, and that's a whole nother subject. The point that I'm saying is we need to use our emotions better. Yeah. So that we hear the message, because there is something that Ye has access to that a lot of people don't. Yeah, he sat down with a lot of people you'll never sit down with and been in rooms you'll never see the inside of the walls.
And
he's not stupid. So you kind of got to listen to him a little bit with a grain of salt.
You have to, man, because it's not accidental. It's not accidental we're talking about him. It's not accidental that he's worth $6 billion. It's not accidental that he's known worldwide. That's not an accident. So you have to respect that. But to your point, and that's the one thing I would say to everybody is, man, stop reacting to not only this situation, but anything.
All of them.
Stop reacting with your emotions to stuff, to stimuli, things that happen, people, places, or things. Stop just reacting and engineer a response to that thing. Because the consequence oftentimes to just a simple emotional reaction won't serve you. It will not serve you.
Well, I think that's what I was saying about when I wasn't an independent thinker, rap music had me doing a whole bunch
shaped your whole life.
Right. So now what I'm saying is when I can unpack it, you know what I'm saying, and sit back objectively, I can actually listen to rap music now without it programming me, because one, I'm not trying to be like everybody that, is coming across the joint and stuff like that. So when I was listening to all those people and doing it like that, then I'm like, yo, why didn't no OG or big homie or big Jewish person pull that joint down with my well-being? You know what I'm saying?
Nobody wasn't thinking about you at that point in time. Right.
Nobody was thinking about the young L's in the hood that was we was moving that dope.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, nobody thinking about that. We was shooting, killing, bang, bang. Nobody wasn't thinking about none of that stuff. So,
So let me back up a little bit from what you're saying. You're saying back in the days when you was a hot boy, right? The music was influencing a lot of what you and your peoples was doing. Yeah. Right? And like directly influencing. Absolutely. But nobody came to the
rescue
and say, take that down.
Yeah, nobody.
Because that I just seen the direct influence of that song.
Yeah.
They greenlit that.
Yeah. That's all I was saying. So now I'm just saying, like whatever you said.
And artists, I think artists have a responsibility, although they don't own anything. Like that's how we got 444 with Jay-Z's, evolution, right? His increased consciousness. We'll never get a big pimping out of Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Do you want one?
No, I don't. But I'm just saying. My point is that he evolved, and so there is some responsibility. I think
there's a lot of responsibility, and what happens is none of these artists are conscious enough when they're super duper dope about their social or cultural responsibility. So everybody who has this influence has a cultural or social responsibility, and we just don't understand it, or we're not conscious of it.
Yeah.
The problem is, by the time we get conscious of it, we're 50.
Nobody trying to hear you.
I'm glad that at least Hove still has a portion of the culture's ear to where when he drops something conscious, that we gotta be
us old heads.
We gotta be highly intellectual to unpack the triple and quadruple, what they call entendres or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? But if you just a kid, then you have no idea about half the stuff that he's talking about.
Right.
But that's
his life right now.
Rap is what got everybody else shooting and killing and hating everybody, and you know what I mean? It's all good, man. I just
y'all entertain me for a second?
Oh yeah.
I had an epiphany today about multitasking.
Okay.
Max went to sleep. It's like, was that painful? I had an epiphany today about multitasking. And I'm just gonna say what my epiphany is or was.
You got the stage.
And shut up. And then I'll shut up. We had this conversation about multitasking. And Lynch says, I can drive and text. So I'm doing two things at one time. Look at you on that bike and you drinking that R7. So you doing two things at one time. I can walk and prepare my message at the same time. So I'm doing two things at one time. So I'm multitasking. But the epiphany I got today, I was talking to my son, and walking, talking, all these things, right, that we've done a million times, I submit that they are not tasks.
Is that what you're submitting to evidence?
I submit that they're not tasks. Yeah. So if you can do those things that you've done over and over and over and over and over again a million times, you swept the floor 100 million times, you can walk from your bedroom to the kitchen in complete darkness. Yeah. I submit that those things are not tasks. So therefore, if you do one or two,
right, bro.
No.
Hey, you're right, man.
Y'all patronizing me now. Y'all never.
Listen, the reason why I'm saying you're right is because that was never really the argument. Ooh. People took the word multitask and then they hung on to that. I already told you that I understood the information. When I said that, I was saying that you can't do two cognitive functions at the same time. If you try, then you're going to be trying to do that. And I know I can't even say that word. They're going to cancel me.
You cancel.
But look, I'm canceled any goddamn way. Who cares?
You're canceled.
Now, here's
man,
what
we
I'm
haven't
trying
got
to
the book done and you're canceled.
All that. We produce it and we publish it ourselves.
Yeah, right.
All right, yeah, who gives a about everybody else? Now,
I love it.
They can beat that. They know where it's at since the 73 minute mark. Golly, jot it down on a piece of paper. Now, yeah, so you don't have to go back and watch the whole shit.
Right, 73? Okay.
73. I'm giving you the game. That's easy. Now, look, two cognitive functions. You can't do that. That's the reason why we only give them one podcast a week.
Gotcha.
Because too much information, they're not going to be able to take it in at one time.
Oh, that's a good point.
So we drip it.
Could they listen? Could they listen to two podcasts? Can one listen to two podcasts at the same time?
There are two cognitive functions that they cannot do.
So they can't do that? So they can't do that?
Yo, I never said that.
It's like you can't drive two cars at one time, B.
Two things
That's what we're talking about.
happening.
You can't physically drive two cars.
Yeah, but you can physically listen to two podcasts. You can, but you won't. You can't. I'm just saying.
Bro, I understand that. And all I said was two things were happening at the same time. We were talking about apples and oranges, and you're trying to
this shit been going on for
I'm
weeks.
not. I said out the gate, like, I had an epiphany I wanted to share, and then you can comment on the epiphany.
So you ain't have a busy day today.
I don't. It wasn't about right or wrong.
Bro, can I just explain this to you like super easy?
Sure.
Like, I understand why dudes are racist, but it doesn't mean I agree with him being a racist.
Help me with that point.
It's information that I got. He explained to me why he doesn't like black people. Do I agree with it? No. I understand that you can't multitask. Do I follow that stuff? Absolutely not. I'm trying to do two things all the time. What I'm saying is I give you information on a diet. Do you follow it? When you want to, hold
now
on.
Now you're making this personal. Now you're trying to throw me under the rug.
Listen, when you want
bro,
to be,
put the tire tracks on my forehead.
Here is the information about multitasking. If you singular task or singular focus, you're going to be more efficient at what you do. Period. Now, if I give you information about the food you're eating, I'm telling you you're all over the place. And if you do this right here, you're going to be more efficient. And sometimes, guess what you do? You actually do the thing that I'm telling you to do, and you become more efficient at losing weight.
I do it all the time.
So it's taking the information, because you told me I couldn't understand the information and not agree with it at the same time. I'm telling you, and you sat there on the joint, you was like, you can't understand the information if you're still saying this. I'm telling you that.
That's how I talk.
Let me get it right. Let me get it right.
I'm just messing with you, man.
I'm gonna say how you say it. Look, you put your head like this. Your head go down like this, and you say, so you're telling me that. so you're telling me that. Now, I'm going to get this yes out of you because I'm going to keep saying it until you say yes.
Oh, God.
And that's your final answer.
Oh, God.
This guy be crucifying me on the joint. I don't want to say crucify me.
Oh, yeah.
God,
you just put me in the category with the motherfuckers.
Yo, all I'm saying is I understand the information.
Gotcha.
And for all the people in the comments, I understood everything that
Can
they
you
were
just speak to
saying
my epiphany? What do y'all think about the epiphany?
You ain't have a busy day today?
I'm saying when you came up with that epiphany,
yeah,
you had your phone, you was on the Peloton, and you was drinking an R7 at the same time. 3 things was happening, but they wasn't task.
You got to check them off as tasks, though.
I'm going to check them off as tasks because
he did too.
If my mom told me to perform these tasks, you can't tell me that me sweeping the floor wasn't a task.
You couldn't do 2 at the same time.
Hey, listen, don't say. When she came in there, all that shit might have been under the bed. But I was trying to get out of there in about 5 minutes. You think I wasn't doing 12 things at one time? And I had some people waiting on me outside.
Oh my God. How's everybody doing, man? How you feeling?
Man, rolling, boy. I'm rolling.
Rolling?
I feel awesome.
I feel the same way. I feel incredible.
My body's changing. I'm stronger. Yeah. Hey, I tell you something cool that happened this week. Finally got a full-time chef at the house.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what's up.
So all my 6 meals, I still cook breakfast by myself because it's just egg whites and spinach.
Yeah.
But all my other meals are made right there in front of me.
You know what it means, though? It means no more excuses. That's
None. You know, and that's all I'm doing. I'm setting my life up because I know where I'm weak at.
Yeah.
And I know where it is. So now we have these meals that are prepared for us every day. They have my schedule, if I'm going to be out, because most of the time I work from the house. Mm-hmm. If I'm going to be out of the house, those meals are put away in the fridge for me that are cooked at dinner time the night before.
Right.
And I'm eating this
right.
right
You got them on the go.
Yeah.
So you make the good things easy and the bad things harder.
That's it.
That's it.
It's gonna be terrible if I pull up to a fast food joint.
Yeah.
Like it's just don't make no sense.
So that becomes like a conscious decision at that moment to make the bad thing easy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you got a whole thing already set up for you, at that time you just really wanted to screw up.
I didn't know if I tell y'all this. I'm opening a restaurant.
Yeah, you mentioned
Yeah, January, first couple weeks in January, we'll go live.
What kind?
I'm not gonna say right now.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be dope, man, because I want to document the process and show people. And because it has an end game. And Adrian don't know it yet, but he's my mentor on this because I'm going into it with the franchise thinking.
Yeah, no doubt.
So that even if we want to keep every restaurant ourselves and operate as a corporation or franchising, we'll do it. But I want to run the numbers like he runs them.
Yeah,
it's good.
I need all the insight he got.
That's what we're normalizing.
Yeah.
That's what we're normalizing.
And I know it sounds, I'm going to tell you why, because it's not that I don't want to I'm not running and operating a restaurant. Is my mom's retiring and she's afraid of retiring. It sounds crazy, right? She's retiring as in she's going to be on my company payroll forever. Right. But she doesn't want to get bored. Yeah. And so just creating something that can keep her active.
It's another principle in the book. We ain't retiring.
Yeah, she's leaving her job that she's been at for 30 something years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's good stuff.
Which I've been trying to get her to retire for 2.5 years now. She only works like 2-3 days a week now, but still she's going to be all the way done.
That's awesome. Love it.
What about you, Rob?
Love it. Great week, man. Great week. We hit a milestone number in the trucking company for the week. So
Nice.
We were all over the place for a bunch of different reasons. And so when we do that 3-4 times in a row, then I feel real good. We hit 20K for the week. And so that was pretty strong for, our size at this point. And so just going up. Just going up from here. And then
Are you learning a lot?
I'm learning a whole lot. And so the thing that I'm learning the most is, right, because I came into this game saying I'm a disruptor, right? But then when I did, I found myself just kind of fitting into the mold. And so the last couple weeks, I had a strategy meeting about 2 weeks ago with the team and pretty much challenged them and say, yo, let's go. You guys take the reins in your role and your responsibility. I need you to have the owner mentality. I need you to run with this thing. And since then, I've been able to think outside the box, snatch the box away, and start coming up with some concepts to do the things I said I was going to do originally. So I feel real good about that. And by the beginning of the year, we should have some things installed that's going to shake up the industry, that's going to create different revenue streams for us, and help just propel us to that next level. So I feel real good about that stuff.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. What's up, man? You flew in early because you was in Tennessee somewhere.
Yeah,
Tennessee.
man. You know what? I'm excited about a lot of stuff that is coming up. So I think it's important to keep evolving, just doing different things and stuff like that, man. But, still keep the main thing.
Right.
But I got some dope stuff coming up, man. I got that photo reveal coming up on Lululemon.
Yeah. When is that? They gotta be that.
I think it's the 27th or something like that.
So that's the day after.
I'll figure it out.
Okay, yeah. So definitely be at that. Definitely be at that.
I'm looking forward to Wilmington.
Yeah. North Dobson. To the island.
Range together. Yeah, all that stuff. Looking forward to a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if people if they put a lot of value in strategy. A lot of people, they tend to be reactive instead of just strategizing and controlling, engineering.
Yeah. Beginning with the end in mind, you know what I'm saying? So, it's pretty dope about how we really going to show people how we do it.
Yeah. So we're going to go lock in and do that. So
just in case our past accomplishments are not enough, we're just going to show them right here from the ground up in front of the face.
That's my whole point of the restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't know the numbers I'm going to hit yet, but I'm going to set them out, put them out there in public.
Yeah.
I'm going to show y'all how to, we'll pull a mill off of it.
Yeah. Not bad at all. So
the profit per square foot is going to be insane.
Yeah. Good stuff. It's real good. Tell them what they need to do to help us out, man.
Well, look, man, I appreciate everybody. I'm sure my guys do too for listening and watching this podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, share this video, and hit a like. And comment below, man. We always want to know your feedback, just in general, because
need that review too.
Yeah. And if you listen to this on podcast world, whether you're on Spotify, Apple, or anywhere in podcast land, don't forget to give us a 5-star review and leave a comment about what you think about the podcast, whether it's good or bad. I just want to hear the feedback. And this is how we do it, man. So we appreciate you. My name is Max Maxwell.
I'm Rob Brown.
I thought I was Max.
You are.
Oh, man, we are who we say we are. Exactly. I am because we are, and because we are, therefore I am. Exactly. That's an African proverb called Ubuntu, y'all. Until next time, Ubuntu to you too.
Ubuntu, man. We out. It's the Endgame.
Peace.